ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Serena Williams.
American woman, listen to what I say. Your lies can hypnotize, spend someone else's eyes.
Incredible.
Hey guys.
Wow! You look, hey, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank you
on being
very
such a
much.
spectacular hunk of woman.
Oh, I'll thank my mom later today. Thanks.
Serena, welcome back to the United Kingdom.
Thank you. You know, I love it here. I'm glad to be here.
What do you like about the UK? What do you like? Do you like playing over here? You like visiting for recreation?
You know what? I just like the city. I love London. I love the shops. I love the streets. I love the atmosphere. I love the oldness of it. In the United States, you don't get anything that's that old. Everything is just so brand new, and it's always new buildings. And here, it's a lot of history, and I love it.
You've kind of come just in time for the usual Wimbledon weather, of course.
Just in time.
Yeah,
yeah.
Do you
start raining on Monday.
Well, you can't believe. Do you like the rain though? When you're in London, do you enjoy the?
It's funny because I actually love the rain. I mean, because for me, growing up, I practiced in Southern California. If you guys know anything about Southern California, it never rains. And they even made a song that was popular. It's like, it never rains in Southern California. So whenever it did rain, I loved it. And so now whenever it rains, it like kind of symbolizes like, I don't know, a break. I don't know for me.
Because you didn't have to train on the rainy days, I guess.
And it never rained. And so whenever it did rain, which is really rare, I didn't have to train. And
so you come over here and it's like every day's a little holiday for you.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like London so much.
Well, I think London likes you back in return.
Yeah.
Do you get to come into town much? Because you're over in South London for Wimbledon, but on the days you're not playing, can you come into town? Do you hang out?
Not too much. I try to be really serious and really focused, I try to stay in Wimbledon and kind of stay in the vibe and stay there mentally so I can stay there for a fortnight.
Okay, now what a remarkable story your career is at the moment, because about a year and a half ago you were way down in the be careful I say this, in the rankings. Okay,
Yeah,
you were down.
Really
You were 139, I think.
Yeah, I dropped. I thought it was 140 at one point.
And you are now. Where are you now?
Right now, number 7. I'm so excited.
That's incredible. You're down and up like that. Now, what was that? Was it illness that caused you to go down there, or were you not playing?
Yeah, it was illness. I had injury, I had surgery, and I never recovered from my surgery. I started playing like 4 months later. I'm in competitive tennis, and I never really had time to recover. And then so many things happened, and I never took a mental break that I needed, and I just got injured. It just all came crashing down all at once, and then I just let it go for a while, and I had to regroup, and I had to find Serena. And then I had to, I trained a lot and just came back.
So you took yourself away from the actual competition, but you got in good shape and you got yourself mentally in good shape.
Yeah, I took myself away, but I was training and I got in really good shape, and I guess it all paid off at the end.
Because that's the weird thing about tennis, the game, and I see people playing sometimes, and you see people at the very top of their game, and they'll be doing great, and then suddenly they'll kind of crash and burn, or suddenly during a match even, they'll sort of lose focus. And that seems to be as important as the physical side.
It definitely is. My dad always said tennis was more mental than physical, and I always thought it was too, because I win a lot of matches mentally and physically too.
How do you reckon your chances at Wimbledon this year? I mean, I don't want you to jinx it, but do you think? You're going to get.
I never say. I'm really superstitious. I never say like what my chances are. I'm just here to play 7 matches.
Okay, 7. I like the way you get yourself ready for that.
7 matches, yeah.
Hey, now your sister's coming over, of course. Is she here already?
She's here. She's already here. We just flew over, so we're both here.
I know you're playing doubles together.
We're playing doubles.
Is she going to be in the singles as well?
Yes, she's playing singles as well, so hopefully I won't have to play her.
Now, how competitive are you? Because I think she's won Wimbledon 3 times, am I right?
I know, and it sucks because I had a chance to win the 3rd time, and I, kind of choked, but she's one up against me, so I'm gonna catch up. I don't care when, why, or how, but I'm gonna get at least 3 or 4 soon because she's ahead of me right now, and I'm like the little sister. I want everything that she has.
When your mum and dad are watching you guys playing against each other, as they have any number of times, who do they root for? Who do they?
I have no idea. I couldn't do it. My parents are amazing. I think they root for who's ever down. Like, I mean, if we're tied, they're kind of neutral, but who's ever down, they root for them.
Because I was thinking, I was watching them one time when you guys were playing, and I can't remember who won that year. And then they just sort of stood up and went, yeah, because of course whoever loses, it doesn't really matter. They're going home with the winner and the loser, and they were kind of like, yeah, good match, yeah, let's go and get a sandwich.
Exactly. You know,
it wasn't the normal elation.
Yeah, we both love it, and my parents, honestly, I couldn't do it. It's too hard for me.
Then let me ask you about whether or not, if you do get back to being number one, how do you stay there? How do you stay, because you've been number one in the game a number of times.
Being number one is, getting there I think is the easy job. I think the hard part is staying there, because everyone wants to play you tough and beat the number one player. And so I think when you get there, you have to even work harder than what you did to get there.
Do you have any kind of superstitious aspects to your game? Do you have any rituals before you go out? Do you have anything you want to carry out with you for the game?
Yeah, I have actually too many superstitious rituals, and it's annoying because it's like I have to do it, and if I don't, then I'll lose. And I'm not losing because I didn't play well. I lost because I didn't tie my shoe, the right way. And it's just totally ridiculous because, I'm like, I have to use the same shower, I have to use the same sandals, I have to travel with the same bags. I bounce. I don't know if you ever watch me, but I bounce the ball 5 times.
Every time before you serve.
My first serve and twice on the second. It's important.
That's for you. That's for you, not for the other player. That is not to put them off a little bit.
No, it's just for me, and it's just annoying. I mean, how can I be thinking about this and playing at the same time?
How are you at home then? Is this like a home as well? Do you have like little rituals?
God, no. I used to be, but I've been living in the hotels too much, so the maid comes every day in the hotel, so I'm a little spoiled.
But it must be a weird life you have, because you spend so much time traveling the world and playing tennis. I know you have a home base. You live with your sister is it in Florida somewhere?
Yeah, we still live together in Florida, so yeah.
Okay, but presumably you don't get to spend that much time there, do you?
No, I don't, but it's always good to go back there because it is my home, and it's relaxing there. It's not like a big city. It's a small city, and it's fun. It's awesome.
And what kind of things, when you get a chance to be off, I mean, do the two of you ever let yourself go completely? Because you have to be physically at the top of your game. But are you allowed just to pig out? Do you ever just say, okay, we're not going to work all this week, we're not going to train, we're going to get lots of Bette Midler movies and lots of chocolate, we're going to watch beaches 4 times in a row?
Venus and I are really concerned about staying fit and staying healthy and living the fit and healthy life, because a lot of people, especially in the United States, are not healthy, and it hurts their heart and it affects their heart. So we are actually over the top. We never want to become unfit and unhealthy, so we're always trying to
You're never going to let yourself go?
No, I don't want to. I mean, maybe a day, but never a week. I
would love to see you put on about 100 pounds.
Oh, no. Please don't wish that on me.
No, because you look great now, but imagine if you were boom, but you'd go... It'd be like a popcorn going. It'd be fantastic. And then you can put it all back in again, but give us a chance to see it big.
Absolutely not.
Come on, let's supersize Serena. Just 1 year, can we?
No, I'm always going to try to be running. And,
so how much time do you have to spend, the two of you, working out? How much time do you spend training?
It's a lot of work. One time I thought about it. It's like a 9 to 5. I wake up at 9. I go train for 2 hours. After that, I go to the gym for a couple hours, and I'm doing another workout. And at the time I get home, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock, and I'm thinking, this is like a regular job, but my job is to stay in shape and to go to the gym and to play tennis, so that's how I look at it.
Serena, do you find, are there any of the male tennis players you find attractive?
I think everyone out there is doing their personal best, but I mean...
but some of them are quite unattractive men, aren't they? I've seen some... some of them are great.
There are some attractive guys out there, too. I don't mention names, so I don't want them to think that I like them,
Some of the guys are good looking. Federer's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he has charisma.
Yes.
Just like when he walks, it's like
he
is swagger. Yeah.
But he's number one.
Of course. So that's why he has that swagger.
Now, do the guys ever? Do they fraternize? Do the male players fraternize with the female players ever? Do they try and go on?
I fraternize with the guy players, especially like the Americans. I really get along with them. I'm pretty much nice to everybody, really. I fraternize with everybody. I'm like a little chippery bird talking and chatting.
Yeah, so you actually get to spend quite a bit of time with each other there?
Sometimes, the rain delay, I spend a lot of time to myself in the locker room. And, if Venus is around, I'll talk to her a lot. But
So when there was a rain delay, when the game, you don't know when it's going to start again, and sometimes there's another match was meant to have finished and it doesn't. Sometimes you can have a long period there. Number one, how do you keep yourself occupied? And number two, how do you keep yourself focused, knowing you might have to play or maybe you won't that day? That must be tough.
I have I've gotten used to it, especially dealing with the rain at Wimbledon. It's like, you know, are you going to play? Are you not? The worst is being behind someone that just got pulled off the court, and they're not that far, but you still have to be there, and and then you're warming up. Like sometimes I warm up, and then then it starts raining, and then I have to sit down again, and I warm up, and then that gets frustrating. But like I said, it's all mental. You just got to deal with it. There's nothing you can do about it.
Which warm-up exercises would you recommend?
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Okay. If you want to stretch out your hamstrings, do you do the one, because this is one where you put your leg right back. You done that one?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, don't go too far.
Why not? What will happen if I go too far?
Your suit might.
It's okay. I'm good. I go down forward. I'm like a tripod. I can't go too much. I've got stability.
Okay, good. That's good to know. That's really good.
Now, you have held, there was one year where you held all 4 of the Grand Slams.
Yeah,
That's an incredible thing.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Do you think you'll get back to that?
I hope so. I planned on doing better at the French Open this year. Kind of choked again in the quarterfinals. So,
but you were playing great up until then, weren't you?
Wasn't I?
You were, yeah. So what happened there?
I was playing really well. What? You know what?
Was that again? Who were you against?
You know what happened?
What happened?
I didn't tie my shoes right.
That's what it is. How many times did you bounce that ball before?
And I didn't do it 5 times.
You see?
And not only that, I didn't bring my shower sandals to the court with me. I didn't have my extra dress.
Yes.
I just knew fate. It just wasn't going to happen. I was like, you know what? I should have just did this. It didn't work out. So.
And you're doing the Sony Ericsson tour as well, aren't you?
Yeah, well, the Sony Ericsson WTA Tour puts on the tour, which is great. They host all the tournaments outside the Grand Slams. So.
And you get a free phone?
They give you lots of free phones. Actually, when I was ranked 140, you have to be like in the top 10. You get a special phone, and top 20. Sometimes you can get a computer. And I didn't get a nice phone.
Now you see, that is short-sighted, because you would think, okay, it's Serena. It's not just someone who was in once and then fell out. Yeah, you think we'll still give her a decent phone. We'll give her a phone.
No, but the CEO took me back and said, I got this for you on the side.
I bet he did. But let's get back to the phone, shall we?
No.
Gotcha, boy.
Actually, it was a phone that he decided to give me. I was like,
do the players ever do? Boxing. In boxing, you get guys, and when they're going in the ring, I understand. I haven't done a lot of boxing for years now, but back in the day. I was semi-profile.
Okay.
I was light, middle.
Feather
heavy. And they do the trash talk sometimes. The guys go, "Oh, your mama." I don't know what that means, but I've heard them say it. Oh, your mama. And stuff like that, right? And then the other go, yeah, well, your mama. Oh. And that gets them very angry, and then they hit each other even harder.
Yeah.
Does that ever occur in tennis?
I wish it did sometimes. It would make it so more exciting, and it would be so fun. You can be like, oh, your mama. So to say.
One thing before we let you go. I think this is the first year here at Wimbledon that the prize money for women is the same as it is for men. That is quite something.
It's really awesome.
That's been a long while coming, hasn't it?
You know what? It has been a long time. I know in the U.S. Open it started in 1970-something. Please don't quote me. But in the 70s, they offered equal prize money to women when Billie Jean King and other women stood up for themselves, and they said, look, we're not going to accept this. We want equal prize money. And now it's 2007.
Yeah.
30, 40 years later.
It's a long time, isn't it?
It's a long time, but we've come a long way, and I think we deserve it personally because, like I said in my interviews, when I was 3 and 4 years old, I worked just as hard as Roger Federer, as Rafael Nadal, as all the men players. I was out there. I missed things that I couldn't do. There were so many things that I did when I played tennis. So why wouldn't I deserve the same amount that
the
they're
same
getting?
journey as them? And also, you know what? I don't think any less people want to watch the women playing than the men.
Absolutely.
Just as a fan of the game, often, obviously, I like looking at ladies, but just the way the game is played, sometimes you see a greater level of skill and better shots and a better sort of tactics in that game than the men.
Sometimes, yeah. I love watching the women play, especially my favorite to watch is Venus.
Do you think you could beat like a man player, like say for example if we had a match, do you think you'd be as good as me at tennis?
Oh my God, yeah, I'd kill you.
Your mama. Serena, how lovely to see you again. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Best of luck at Wimbledon. I hope you win this year. I'm rooting for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Serena Williams. Serena, that was fabulous. And you're not spectacular.
Thank you.
And good luck tonight. And good luck at Wimbledon.